Now for the bad news. This is the first Spyder RS in the UK. Hello and welcome back to the Vaux Wizard channel. Now I've had my Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 for about 5 weeks and done 3,000 miles in it. Those of you who watched the original collection video may recall that even though it was under 3 years old and had done less than 1,200 miles, it wasn't covered by the original Porsche warranty because it was late for its first service, simply because it'd been sitting in the showroom. So as soon as I collected the car, I drove it straight to Porsche Centre Solihull and had that service performed on the basis that it would reinstate the balance of the original 3-year warranty. And I'm so glad that I did, because on my first drive in the UK, after driving it back from Italy, it decided to go wrong with just 3 weeks of that original warranty left. So in today's video, I'm going to let you know if the 4-figure bill for repairing the car was actually covered by the warranty. But first, let me explain to you what actually went wrong. Okay, so Cayman GT4 and every 718 model with Sport Chrono has what Porsche call PADM, Porsche Active Drivetrain Mounts. That means instead of the engine or gearbox mounts, varies from model to model, being simply made of rubber, they're filled with a special liquid that, when instructed by the ECU, can make the mount harder or softer. The benefits of that is that when you're driving hard, the mount stiffens up, and that controls the movement of the engine in the engine bay, which gives you better handling. Then when you're driving more sedately, the mount relaxes, and that prevents vibrations from the engine entering the cabin. Sounds great, doesn't it, when it works? Now, I consider myself lucky because it's failed within the warranty period, so it should be covered by warranty. We'll find out later, but there are many reports of people with cars that have been serviced correctly with low mileage, but falling just outside that warranty period, having to foot the £1,200 bill themselves, 800 of which is for the parts. And the bad news is there are 2 of them, and there's no guarantee the replacement part is any better than the original. Apparently the part number hasn't been superseded, which means it hasn't been changed. Well, I'm hoping that's not the case. The one good thing about this fault is that even though it puts a warning on the dashboard, that's always a scary thing, the car can still be driven relatively normally. So let's get in it, take it back to Porsche Solihull, and keep our fingers crossed the guys in Stuttgart will be footing the bill. Also, we can then find out how I've got on with courtesy car bingo, because as it stands right now, I've got no idea what car is waiting for me there. Well, it's been pretty much an hour since I arrived at Porsche Solihull before I was given the keys to this courtesy car. The reason it took so long is because my car's going to be here for a few days, and I think because it's a warranty job, Porsche GB supplied the courtesy car. So this is an R-Reg car, not a V, which would be the local cars for Porsche Solihull. And I had to speak to them and sort out the insurance with them directly, which took a bit of time. But actually, it's quite nice to kill time in a Porsche centre. They're really nice dealership. Solihull's particularly nice. So the courtesy car bingo is never going to be a bad result here at Porsche, but it's a Macan T, which I'm kind of pleased about because I didn't even know the Macan T existed. It's apparently the driver's choice with a lightweight engine. It's got the EA888 with 265 horsepower. Doesn't sound like a lot, and apparently it's designed for keen drivers. It's got a pan roof, and it's quite nice in here. They've changed obviously the dashboard since the earlier Macans. They put the climate control down here, which is really hard to see with the glare, which is a bit weird. Got nice metal paddles, nice small steering wheel. Yeah, it definitely feels a bit more modern in here than the original Macan, but it's not like the latest cutting edge cars, like say the new Cayenne. But as a courtesy car, I'm super happy with it, and lovely actually carbon on here as well. Now, the repair could take longer than the 2 days they booked the car in for, because the part is on potentially on back order from Porsche. So they've ordered it, but it hasn't come in yet, so there's a possibility this may drag on a bit, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I'll give you a full report when I get the call from Porsche and the car is ready whenever that may be. Well, I'm out on my bike and I've just had the call from Porsche Centre Solihull to say the car is now ready to be collected. It's not all good news though, but I'll tell you more when I actually get the car back. In the meantime, I've had enough time to film a full review of the Porsche Macan T courtesy car. Never been a big fan of SUVs, but as SUVs go, it's quite an interesting one. So if you get the chance, please do check out that video. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Right now I need to get home, get showered and get back up to Porsche Centre Solihull. Well, bye bye Macan. It's been interesting. If you want my personal opinion on SUVs, no, I still wouldn't buy one, especially one that big. Well, there's my car. So let's just go inside, get the keys, set up and get inside it. Well, firstly, big shout out to Porsche Centre Solihull. I've used them as a trade parts customer for years and they've been brilliant, and I'm pleased to report when it comes to service they're also brilliant. If you're thinking about buying an R8 or a 911, I'd highly recommend considering the experience you get with the service department when you make your choice. They're both great cars, but for me, the reason I'm backing a Porsche is because of the dealers. Now, let's start off then with the good news. The MOT test has been passed, nothing to report, no advisories. That's brilliant. They just charge £54, something like I think every other MOT station, so it's not really worth trying to save money going somewhere else, especially when you've got a splitter like this that could get easily damaged. They've enabled the integrated Vodafone tracking device. I had to go through a process and prove the car was mine. They give me a code, you give that to the dealer puts it in the car and you can track the car, and it works really well with the app. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that. The other good news is that they diagnosed a left hydro mount, they call it the drivetrain mount, as faulty, and even though the car was really late for its first service, they've got no problems with doing that under warranty, which is brilliant. Now for the bad news, unfortunately, and probably a knock-on from COVID still, that drivetrain mount is back ordered, i.e. it's not available to order at the moment. There's no time when it will be. So to quote Porsche Solihull, it could potentially be weeks before it's replaced, which initially was a bit disappointing, but they reassure me I can just drive the car normally and I probably wouldn't even notice it apart from the white error message on the dashboard. So it's not all bad, and that's kind of important because it's now coming up towards the end of October. It'll soon be frosty mornings and gritted mornings when I really won't want to take this car out, so I can make the most of it now before the weather changes for the worse. And today I'm doing exactly that. I'm driving to Pistonheads Sunday service at, would you believe, Porsche GB in Reading. So I'll catch up with you when I get there and I'll show you what cars they've got on display. Welcome to Porsche Centre Reading and Porsche Cars GB. So the UK importer has this half of the building and the dealership owned by the UK importer is over here. So in partnership with Pistonheads, they've organised this Sunday service today. They've organised the weather as well, which is really Porsche weather, and they've got a lot of their own cars out, and obviously there's a load of Porsche Pistonheads members that are here with their cars. I've left it a bit late to film because there's just been so much to see and so many people to talk to, so the car park was heaving earlier, but it's still pretty good. So let's just have a quick look at the cars then. So that's an ultraviolet 991 GT3 RS. I may get some of these wrong, so just forgive me, but yeah, I remember when that was reviewed by Evo in that colour. This is a famous 997.2 press car called Hebe, which I've seen in loads of reviews, and it's just great to see it in the metal. So this is probably my favourite Porsche of all time, I think. And this looked pretty extreme back in the day, but check this out now. So this is the latest GT3 RS. It's basically a racing car for the road. There's so much going on. And Porsche GB have put next to it a racing car. So you can see, actually, in some ways, it's even more extreme. So it's got bigger sills. It's got this blade here. The racing car's got none of that. I love this bit here, which keeps I think the hot air away from the spoiler, or actually the intake for the engine. And then this is the first Spyder RS in the UK. So this is basically the GT3 engine in the 718 Spyder body. It's got a slightly different hood, which is more manual, and PDK only, though it does look like a manual. And it's got the Visac pack as well. Beautiful. Steel brakes. Apparently ceramics are really hard to get at the moment, but that's no bad thing really. Lovely carbon weave there.
No, you'll get 4 customer reviews.
Let's not ignore the Porsche Cayenne, first generation, that was modified by the guys here at Porsche GB as some sort of project. GT4 RS. 987 Boxster Black Edition, I think. And check this out, this is probably one of my favourite cars of the day. So it looks like a turbo, cool number plate. Definitely wins the wing prize today. 997.1 GT3 RS. Beautiful car. 964 the Carrera. 911 Turbo S. And this is probably the most interesting car here today. 959. Apparently it's a prototype version that's in the hands of a collector. As well as the cars on display outside. Porsche Centre Reading has opened on a Sunday for people to come inside and have a look. Now this is called Destination Porsche Reading now, so they tried to make it into more than a showroom. It's the biggest car showroom I've ever been in, and there's such a mix of cars in here, pretty much everything. So we go from a GT3 RS, the brand new model with all the aero scoops and vents and flicks, to a purple Cayenne hybrid with gold wheels and everything in between. If you like pink cars, how about this? Carrera S Cabrio in ruby stone. And at the back here, there are some used cars, some really interesting used cars as well. So we've got a GT4 in silver. Not a really big fan of silver, but I think it looks like a really expensive silver. I've never seen it up close before, but you can tell by the flake that is very nice paint. So you've got bucket seats, club sport pack, steel brakes. Nice car. PDK. Yep. And then a Cayman style edition. And this is pretty special. So this is a 981 Spyder. In theory, it's not as special as the 718 Spyder, which is a bit more hardcore, but it was, I think, probably built in lower numbers. But for me, it's a little bit too close to the Boxster GTS. And you get a proper auto hood. This is semi-manual on these Spyders. But yeah, nice. Nice colour on that Panamera. 718 Boxster S. Nice GTS 4 litre in grey. And then a Taycan Cross Turismo. And a Macan Turbo. Actually an interesting car, lovely wheels. Don't see many turbos around now. This has got the old dash with the Space Shuttle buttons. But it's got the big exhaust, so yeah, this looks amazing from the back. This was deleted in 21 when the range was facelifted. The good thing about events like this is meeting friends. And this is Robert, a
yes.
real Porsche aficionado and a Volkswagen man as well.
Yeah,
He's just acquired this RS 2.7 cap from the shop here.
Yeah,
which is probably the coolest bit of merchandise in the whole shop.
Yeah.
As ever, guys, thank you for watching this Volks Wizard video. Keep subscribing, keep commenting, and I'll see you for the next one very soon.
Bye!
Bye! And there's fast up.